Section 8 is the summary of the association's activities. The Secretariat have very kindly provided me with a brief overview of the main activities undertaken over the last year, which I will now read to you. Throughout the past year, the BMRA Secretariat has continued to support members and petition on their behalf to ensure a stable working environment. In the past year, BMRA has been running a project looking at non-WE derived cables. A variety of cables from the different sources have been tested, including data cables, household cables, and ELV looms. The testing is measuring compounds such as antimony, bromide, lead, zinc, and chlorine. We are currently selecting cables for the more detailed laboratory analysis and have recommended to the Environment Agency that non-PVC composite cable samples are also tested for SCCP and MCCP to establish whether the chlorine is present as a POP substance. BMRA continues to progress discussions with the EA on planning for potential scenarios that may arise as a consequence of this work. Specifically, if non-WE cables become hazardous waste, there will be permitting issues that need to be addressed. In short, we have requested that the EA implements a derogation from the requirement to pay a hazardous waste consignment note fee for small loads of household and non-WE cables. Metal shredder residues. Sampling training for the National Metal Shredder Residue Study started on the 31st of May. All participating operators have received training and have collected their first samples. Those samples are being prepared for laboratory analysis, and the first set of results are expected by the end of July. Although the project is still in its early stages, it is already apparent that providing a national waste classification assessment of shredder residue will be far more challenging than previously thought, given several different types of shredder residue can be produced at any one site. BMRA is working with the Environment Agency to assess how the project may need to be modified to meet its objectives, or whether these may need to change in order to ensure that future metal shredder residues are appropriately classified for their further treatment or disposal. Battery fires. Antonia has been working with a number of groups looking at the issue of battery fires arising within the waste industry. As well as the WISH ESA group, she also joined a group led by Materials Focus dedicated to identifying simple measures that could be funded and executed. The first project underway is to produce signage for household waste recycling centres to show members of the public what to do with their batteries and battery-powered WE. Lobbying. Antonia has continued to dedicate time to working with different police services to lobby for enforcement funding and to tackle the issues surrounding the huge spike in catalytic converter thefts, as well as the alarming spike in metal thefts in general. After much hard work engaging with different stakeholders throughout the year, it seems the all-party parliamentary group will be reinvigorated. The AGM will take place on the 21st of July, and we are hopeful that membership will excite the required number and the objectives for the new parliamentary calendar will be set. With the removal of the sector's red diesel exemption, we've been developing a lobbying plan and seek data from members to support our campaign for an exemption. We have sent out template letters for members to send to their own MPs, requesting a meeting to discuss this issue, and once the parliamentary recess is over, we will begin to target the ministers concerned. Following a 2020 study carried out by Warwick University on behalf of BEIS to look at scrap flows across the country, BMRA has been very focused on ensuring that the UK government does not implement any impediments to exports. While the study found that any such impediment would be detrimental to the UK economy, not to mention the scrap sector, the BMRA anticipates that the UK steel sector will push this once again this year. COVID-19. For the past year, BMRA has continued to ensure members are kept up to date with all the regulations and requirements surrounding COVID-19. This information has been shared via bulletins, the website and social media, and much of it was printed in a COVID-19 scrapbook special. BMRA continue to advise members as they look to transition employees back to the workplace in a COVID-secure environment. Education and training. This year saw the launch of the Education and Training Committee. The remit of the committee is to identify training opportunities for the sector and to inform members how they can take advantage of any or all opportunities. The most recent action was to identify a Kickstart scheme gateway provider to help members access the government funding, which would see companies employ a young person at risk of long-term unemployment, where the government pays the wages for 6 months. We will also shortly launch our training portal, which has been in development over the past few months. Health and safety. Individual sections of the BMRA Health and Safety Manual have been published throughout the year, each with an accompanying poster which is mailed to every member's site. To date, we have published the following parts of the manual: Health and Safety Administration, Occupational Health and Safety, Dealing with Radioactive Sources, and Work Equipment and Assessments. The posters are Sealed Containers Can Kill, Radiation in Scrap, Batteries in Scrap, Safe Handling of EVs and HEVs. WISH. Antonia has continued work with the WISH Info 13 team, updating the COVID-19 guidance document for those working in the waste and recycling sector in the time of coronavirus. Since its first publication has been very well received and is now seen as a go-to for the sector. Marketing and communications. Since the last AGM, the BMRA has continued to send bulletins and information to members via email, which has been particularly important due to the COVID-19 pandemic. We have also continued to provide a printed magazine scrapbook every 2 months and have continued to drive traffic to the BMRA website for both members and non-member areas. The online recycler and service member directories have been visited over 55,000 times, and the members area have been accessed nearly 12,000 times in the last year. We've also seen our social media presence grow and now have over 8,000 followers across Twitter, Facebook and LinkedIn. We took the opportunity to redesign the emails, so you have seen our bulletins now have dedicated headers depending on what content they contain. The BMRA continues to be the go-to association for the national media on issues that affect the industry, such as metal crime. We've appeared on and in a range of media outlets and newspapers, including BBC Radio, Daily Mail, Daily Telegraph, The Eye, MRW and Let's Recycle. Thank you again to those members who have supported the production of Scrapbook, be it with content or by advertising. We produce 6 a year, and this year saw a bumper edition of 20 pages back in March. All copies are available to read digitally via the BMRA website. The photography competition, sponsored by Recycle Products Limited, continues to be well received, with many members providing entries every 2 months. We've continued to run 2 awareness campaigns, 6 reasons to recycle and don't put wheat in the bin, along with many positive statistics about metal recycling. All have been well received and shared multiple times across social media. We have continued to work towards attracting new members via online, utilising video and direct mail campaigns. We also will use our attendance at MRE in September to speak to many more non-members. Many thanks to the Secretariat for providing me with that overview.